Today we're here with a 2009 Land Cruiser Prado. This is the Gen 3, I think, 150 series, GRJ 150, and this is the 1GR FE engine. And the complaint is the four-wheel drive is not working. At least that's what the client told me. He told me that his four-wheel drive was flashing for low and it cannot shift into four-wheel drive. So that's what I'm here to take a look at. So let's see what the car is doing. Now, whenever my clients call me, I always prepare for the work. So I read up on the four-wheel drive system, and this is the picture that he showed me when he put the car on. So you can see all the status lights are on normal, but look at the four low light, it's flashing. And if you attempt to engage four low, it doesn't engage. However, I can engage my diff lock. So let me press the button. I can hear the differential lock engage, and there it's working. Put it off. Again, I can hear it engage or disengage, and it's working. But check this out. Now, this is what he did not tell me. The check engine light is on. Now, in my mind, I'm not seeing how the check engine light is related to the four low unless we have a check engine light that is causing the four low. So we have a traction control disabled as well. And sitting here, the car is quite rough. It's has a low P idle. So let's get out the scanner. We scan this car, but I think I studied for the wrong thing. I have a feeling we are dealing with an engine problem, and the check engine light is disabling the traction control and the four-wheel drive system. So let's bring out our tech screen. Okay, we've done a full system scan, and we have got P0172. Just as I suspected. I don't think this is a four-wheel drive problem. So let's go to the engine. 172 is a rich condition. So we've got system 2 rich bank 1, system 2 rich bank 2, and rough idling. Now I can feel this. I can confirm this rough idling, exactly what I'm feeling in the car. Let's go back to our stored data and let's look at the ABS. Yeah, engine EV control system malfunction, C121. So right now we are not looking at a four-wheel drive issue. We are looking at an engine issue. The check engine light is disabling the four low and also disabling the traction control. So let's not get sidetracked. And look at this. This is terrible. Average fuel consumption here is 5.6 kilometers per liter. That is really, really bad. So rich condition, poor fuel economy, rough idling. Yeah, we're tackling an engine problem. So let's completely ignore that four-wheel drive and let's go to the engine. Let's look at our freeze frame data here. So what can we see here? Let's look at the fuel trim. This is a very good freeze frame. Toyota used to give scanty information, but now I can see they have improved. Okay, let's look for fuel trim. Here it is. So we've got a long term of negative 28.125 and then a short term of negative 5.4. So we are able to correct, just that the correction is way high on the negative side. Let's see what else we can pick up. Air pump pressure is 82 kPa, so the air pump was off. 82 kPa is atmospheric pressure. Lambda of 1.04. So the lambda was achieved. So we are in fuel control, but the correction is just too high. Let's exit out of here and go. Oh, keep right clicking. Let's start the car. And let's gather some more evidence. Let me go to my data list. So right now we are running. I want to look at my mass airflow. That is pretty high right now. So we're at idle. Yeah, this is quite high. I don't like this. And then we got atmospheric pressure at 103 kPa. Now this atmospheric pressure is also not reading correct. What is going on here? Coolant temp, it's okay. I've been running the car for some time. Engine runtime, idle position is on, so that's good. Evap purge right now is off. So right now we're at a lambda of 0.997. So we are at stoichiometric currently. But look at this. It's even worse right now. So right now bank 1 is at negative 32. I want to see bank 2. Let me look for bank 2 fuel trim. So I got bank 1 sensor 1 short term and bank 2 sensor 1 short and long term. So this is, both banks have a high fuel trim. Okay. All right, I've taken a selection of data and my MAF here is 5.7. This is high. I don't like this. Evap right now we are 28%. Our target fuel ratio is 0.9 and we've achieved that, so we are in control. But look at the correction we have to make on bank 1 and bank 2. And then, just to show you that this has nothing to do with four-wheel drive, look at the transfer. L4 is off. So that flashing light has got nothing to do with anything. It's just being disabled because of the engine running rich. So let's discuss this. Rich conditions are much harder to diagnose than lean conditions, but there are surprisingly very few things that can cause a rich condition. A rich condition is simply too little oxygen passing through the oxygen sensors. So don't think of it in terms of fuel. Think of it in terms of the amount of oxygen that is passing the oxygen sensor. Of course, if you have too much fuel, you'll have less oxygen passing that oxygen sensor. But there are other things that could cause this to happen. You could have a stuck open EGR. A stuck open EGR would cause inert gases to flow back into the intake, and therefore it'll dilute the oxygen passing through the oxygen sensor and you'll get a rich condition. Or you could have too much fuel going in. That could also cause a rich condition. So we need to think logically. First of all, is this an actual rich condition or is it not? First thing I noticed is when I start this car, immediately I have a rough idle. So that tells me that this is not an oxygen sensor issue. Why? Because oxygen sensors only come in on closed loop, and the first few moments you start your car, you're in open loop. But my rough idle is immediate. Second thing is both our sensors are reading rich. So think about this in terms of probability. What is the probability that you could have two sensors go bad at the same time? Well, not likely. Third thing is we have a high mass airflow reading. I don't like the mass airflow reading. It's my first time to work on this engine. I am not sure the liter capacity. So let me go to the service manual and check how many liters this engine is, and then make my decision from there. But that mass airflow hanging at about 6.5, I don't like. Then the fourth thing is injectors. Is it possible that injectors were changed in this car? For injectors, it's very easy to check. Whenever things are done here, there are footprints left behind. Broken connectors, broken clips. Let's just look at the engine bay and check the condition of it. All right, so here we are in the engine bay. I've taken the engine cover off, and when you are looking for tampering, you look for telltale signs like this. See these clips? This is a clip. This, you can see, is missing a bolt. So there is evidence that somebody has been in here. What they were doing, I don't know. Let's see. Like you see this, check out this harness. This harness is not in the right place. So somebody has been in here, but what were they in here doing? Were they changing injectors or are they changing spark plugs? Because this stupidity is also done when people change the spark plugs. So it's highly likely that they were changing spark plugs. But for us to change the plugs, they're right there. We don't need to remove the intake. See, the coils are there. But for us to change the injectors, we have to remove the intake. So let me look for evidence of the intake having been removed. And I'm looking for stuff like this. If you look at this nut here, there's no evidence that that nut has been touched. And also here, there's no wallowing out of that. That looks factory. Okay. So just based on that right now, I do not think that this intake has been off. Therefore, I do not think we're dealing with an injector issue. People normally buy these cheap AliExpress injectors. They come a set of 6 for like $100. Those injectors are really bad and they cause things like this. I've seen that many times before, but here, I'll keep that at the back of my mind, but I do not see any evidence of that. What I don't like is this. My mass airflow is reading higher than usual. So the two things I need to check. Number one, I need to check what liter capacity this engine is. It's my first time to work on this engine. Second thing I need to check is if this part number is correct. And my part number is right there. We're just going to check that and see if it is correct. So I am right now more inclined towards that mass airflow. Let's go to the service manual and look at the liter capacity of this engine. All right, I've checked the part number for this. The part number is correct. I disconnected this, tried to run the car to see if my fuel trims would improve, but this car does not like running without the mass airflow. It goes into a default, it doesn't even go into closed loop, and it doesn't run well at all. The diagnostic information from that is useless. I can't do anything with that. So what I decided to do is to connect it back and then put a probe on this, and I wanted to put a resistor, a fake reading over here, to pat it down to normal. This thing is reading high. It's reading about 7 grams per second. This is a 4-liter engine. I've checked, by the way. It's a 4-liter engine. So we're supposed to be around 3.8 to 4.1 grams per second at idle right now. So when I connected it back and I went to set up my instruments, I saw something interesting. The data has gone back to normal. Now it's reading 3.8 and our fuel trims have corrected. Let's go in there. And as you can see, now we have normal fuel trims. We're in closed loop, 3.79 grams per second. And look at that. Excellent. In fact, it's been correcting. It started at negative 28 and positive 29. Now it's correcting. So, confirmed, we have a bad mass airflow. So me fiddling around with it and just disconnecting and connecting it has kind of made it come back to life, I guess. But that is not the fix. The fix is to replace that mass airflow. So what I want to do now is to put the engine off, and I want to delete these codes just to confirm 100% that my follow and my traction is being caused by this. So let me go to the trouble codes. And this one, I caused that by disconnecting the mass airflow because I wanted to find out what it would do. Now, let's come here and delete. I'm not so used to TechStream. Clear. Okay. Very nice. Now let's go back to my data list, and I should still have it on the selected data. Now this I do not like, so let me try utility. It will correct itself over time, but I always like to delete that. Reset memory. And then next. Now TechStream is very slow. It is slower than the aftermarket scan tools, but it gives the best information. So and my laptop battery is about to die. Okay, let's go back to our data list. And we haven't reset. Too bad. Let's start the car. Now the RPM is going to fluctuate a bit because it is going to relearn. But look at that. That's the money shot right there. So that's confirmed our mass airflow is faulty, and I can see it's already creeping up again. But there we go. We repair that mass airflow, we repair this car. And then we come here and we do not have our follow error. We do not have our check engine light because we have reset the codes. So this has nothing to do with four-wheel drive, but we still have our traction control. So that is something different. Now what I want to do is go back to my trouble codes. I just want to confirm again, no codes. Nice. Now let's go to system select and go to that ABS. I don't know if we need to delete codes in the ABS. Oh, we have a current. So let's delete this. Clear. Okay. All right. So now we are clear. I don't like that code for the 0 point for the steering. Let's just quickly check the data list and see the steering angle. All right, we're in the ABS module and this is a steering angle value, and what I will do is look here. Now check this out. We have a steering angle of 0, but look at our dash. It's displaying that we are at an angle going right. So this appears to be an alignment issue. So if I'm to change my steering slightly so that that goes to 0, which is there, now we are centered there, but our value is 6 degrees. So that is why we have that error of the steering angle value. It has nothing to do with the sensor. This should be addressed during alignment. So what we are supposed to have is, when we are centered over there, that means when our wheels are perfectly straight, our steering angle should be 0. And I've also asked the owner of the car, and he has confirmed that he needs to drive at this skewed angle so that he drives straight. If he happens to drive straight, he is going to be driving at a different tracking angle. So this is just an alignment issue. A good alignment should take care of this. When they align, you should insist that before they align on the machine, instead of them eyeballing this 0, tell them to use a scanner and check the steering angle value and put the steering at 0 on the scanner, and then lock the steering, then do the alignment. That's the proper way of doing it. They're just lazy sometimes, and they will align you wrong if they do not use a scanner. All right, that's it. 2009 Toyota Prado. All done. Another one for the books. Until next time.